whether it be in Carlson Park or West, it's something that actually comes up quite a bit. And doing more research into it, full disclosure, Stephen is my treasurer, so some of my research has been done with him. The one thing that I'm really sure about is once the environmental impact report comes out, yes, we should take some steps to do one of the three things that you mentioned, Todd, making claims, file a lawsuit, what's out there. But if we file a lawsuit, we should take into impact, and I feel like all of the candidates are going to say this, working with other jurisdictions, but we should look specifically at the jurisdictions that are affected by the environmental impact report and try to make connections with groups that are probably already mobile on the ground to form those connections. Because there are groups that we can form connections with across the country. A lot of people reference Phoenix and some other areas, but if we form connections with groups that are actually other Southern California cities, then I think we make a stronger case. When I was speaking about this locally with Tom Colorado, he said something similar to what Jordan just said around, increasing the angle of the flight path, once people come down. And I think that's a great solution, but it is a temporary solution because, as people said before, with next gen, the plan is to increase capacity for the next 25 years. So we need to try to think of some creative ways to add other options besides just increasing the angle at which planes land or take off. Because that's not going to be the ultimate solution. It's going to be the solution for 5 years, maybe 7 years, if the FAA actually listens to us at all. I think one of the things that a lot of you underscored in your presentations from the start is trying to get our comments in volume from month to month. And I think one of the things that we can take from a lot of water campaigns that have either targeted state reps or congressional reps is trying to make sure that all of the complaints that go in have a minimum of information. Like, as you said before, the FAA will respond and say, hey, we've been flying these flight paths for 30 years, nothing's changed, you're seeing those. But what we can do, if we include the information that you mentioned in every post, is to provide a minimum of evidentiary, evidence in every post, and then go from there, so that every post basically, forestalls their, automatic response, the response that, they're going to give all of us if you just complain. A plane, flew across my house at 3 a.m. and it woke us up and it was very loud and it's never been this loud, or my kids were practicing soccer and, they basically, had an asthma attack or something respiratory happened. Like, we need to have a minimum of information available in everything that we submit, whether that be to the FAA, to our state or local reps, or, to our neighbors. So they know that this isn't just, NIMBY type of action, but it is something that's happening across the country. So we should.
Dozens of people in Culver City staged a protest today to call for quieter skies around LAX. Members of a group, Culver City for Quiet Skies, organized the rally to complain about the frequency of flights. The demonstration coincided with National No Fly Day. Protesters chanted that the flights are too low, too loud, and too many. The city councilman described how his community has changed over the decades.
I hear them, I smell them. Windows of my house rattle in the evening, and it's not only the noise, it's about the pollution too that's causing. Many people moved here to Culver City because it was somewhat of a flight-free city several years ago, and that's no longer the case.
In the past, the FAA has said new satellite-based technology is mapping out narrower, less disruptive flight paths over the city.